Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to give you a single bass fishing tip that will make you a better fisherman and help you catch more bass instantly by the end of today's video. So stay tuned, let's get right into it. So what is this secret bass fishing tip that's going to help you catch so many more fish instantly? It's just going to be to keep it simple. I learned that this weekend up here on Chautauqua. I've been fishing up here, trying to film YouTube videos for you guys, thinking of different ideas, different stuff that you might not have seen on YouTube and all this kind of stuff. Everyone's always trying to learn this different stuff on how to become a better angler, different techniques, different this, different baits, different that. Well, I've tried all this different stuff and I've realized sometimes it's just better to keep it simple. Sometimes we overcomplicate things as bass fishermen, and maybe I've done it too many times as a tournament angler. I'll go to a Bass Pro the night before, and maybe these fish are getting so much pressure on a Senko. Maybe if I throw the 4 1/4 inch instead of the 5 inch, I'll catch more fish. Or maybe if it has blue glitter in it because they're eating some different type of crawfish down there, they might bite it more than just a straight black worm or anything like that. There's so many times when I've overthought all that stuff as a bass fisherman that it just causes me to think weird and do different things that I'm not used to doing, instead of just keeping it simple, fishing to my instinct and letting the fish tell me what they want and doing it that way. I've caught more fish just by fishing off of my instincts and going with what the fish are telling me while I'm fishing. Kind of like if you're fishing a Senko and you're reeling your Senko in and it's kind of darting through the water and a fish comes up and eats it. Maybe you should throw a fluke, because that is what a fluke does when it's working through the water, and then it might actually catch you more fish. Something like that is what I'm talking about. But overall, today's keep it simple tip is going to be, we're just going to fish a wacky rig. Sometimes that's just the easiest way to catch fish. I've caught more fish just going out there and throwing a Gary Yamamoto Senko on a wacky rig when I cannot get a bite. Just go out there and fish what's in front of you. So today we're on Chautauqua Lake. It's been a tough few days of fishing. I've had trouble getting bites doing anything. I've tried making spinnerbait videos for you guys. I've tried making some dock fishing videos with some different baits that these fish have never seen before and doing all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, the fish just eat a Senko. That's just the way it works, and that's the way it's gonna be. So we're gonna talk about why keeping it simple works. We're gonna go out there and show you how it works, and just going out there and fishing casually and catching a bunch of fish. So the rig for today, we have a Gary Yamamoto Senko, wacky rigged right in the middle with an O-ring, and I have a size 2 weedless finesse Nico hook from VMC. I have this on 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader and a 15-pound braided line, lime green Suffix 832 on my Kistler dock skipper, and we're gonna go fish some docks on Chautauqua and just keep it simple. We're gonna fish where the fish should be. There's bluegill beds up around the docks. There are shaded spots up around the docks. We have no wind, we have high sun today. Everything says that these fish should be on docks. Why would they leave their food source that's sitting right next to the docks to go somewhere else and eat a spinnerbait or do something like that? So we're gonna keep it simple with this. We're gonna go show you how effective this is on the docks and hopefully catch a couple fish along the way. So let's get right into it. So what I mean by keeping it simple, it doesn't have to be a wacky rigged Senko. It can really be whatever bait you like. All I'm referring to is that all the time as bass anglers, we try to get too far into the details, worry about too much. Are we throwing the right color? Are we throwing the right size? Are we doing this? Are we doing that? When realistically, we should look at it in the sense of fish always eat a wacky rig. They like green pumpkin because there's bluegills around, and there's a bunch of docks with shade with bluegills around, so there should be bass in the area. It should be as simple as that sometimes. That's the way I like to keep it simple. When I really can't get a bite and I'm struggling, I just go to my confidence baits. It could be whatever you like. I love throwing a Senko. I know a lot of people hate doing it, but it always catches fish. I've never had a bad day throwing a Senko. It just always works, and that's why I always have one tied on. So for me, whenever fishing gets tough like it has been the past few days, this lake has changed a lot in 2 or 3 days. Fishing has gotten very, very tough for me, and I am having a hard time getting a bite. The number one way for me to get a bite is just to throw a wacky rig Senko or a Texas rig Senko under these docks. Don't worry about the color, don't worry about the size, just fish as many docks as I can and put that wacky rig in places where I think fish should be, and eventually I'll get some bites. To me, that is keeping it simple and getting the confidence baits in there. For other people, it might be throwing a crankbait on rocks, or it could be throwing a shaky head out deep, or flipping a jig into wood. It can be whatever it is. So whatever your confidence bait is, whenever fishing gets tough, the #1 way to just go out there and catch more bass. Put your confidence baits in your hand and feel that you're confident that you could catch a fish on any cast. Sometimes when the fishing gets so tough, you just feel like whatever you're doing is wrong and you can't do it right and all this kind of stuff. When if you just put a bait that you know you're really good at throwing, you know how it works, you know where it should be, everything like that, you just feel dialed in on that presentation. When you put that bait in your hand, a lot of times you'll just catch more fish because you're comfortable and you're fishing free and you're just fishing knowing off of your instinct and knowing you're doing the right thing. So we're going to keep fishing down some of these docks. They've been pounded for tournaments this past weekend. We got an algae bloom, water temp's been going way up. There's still fish on these docks though, and I feel confident at that. So we're gonna keep fishing, and hopefully my confidence bait will get us a bass here. All right, and just like that, we were able to get us a giant here with my confidence bait. Just like that, we were able to get us a very nice one here with our confidence bait, throwing it, catching some fish under these docks. We've been catching a couple little ones, having some bluegills peck at it, but it has been an ultra tough day to even get a bite. So to catch a fish like this up underneath these docks today, about a 3, maybe 3¼ pounder, awesome fish catch. Probably could catch some more, but we got some other videos to film today. But if you ever having trouble out there catching some fish, switch to your confidence bait, get to throwing, and you'll catch a bunch of fish. I promise you. It's just the confidence, being able to throw something that you know you're doing right, you're gonna catch some fish. And if you want to see a video on how to catch some fish throwing a wacky rig just like this, check this video out. Hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go ahead and let her go.